Let's record it. Well, welcome to today's team call. It is June 9th, and I'm so freaking grateful that you are here. First off, we have to welcome the new coaches on the team. I'm so freaking pumped. I'm excited that you're here. I'm excited that you said yes to yourself. I'm excited that you committed to change. And to you coaches who helped them join, who brought them into our community, hats off to you. Pat yourself on the back. You are getting uncomfortable. You're stepping up and changing freaking lives. This is amazing. So welcome Laura, Ariana, Tasha, Cindy, Taylor, Annie, Natalie, Cami, Nicole, Noreen. Success Club Rockstars so far for the month of June. Shout out to Kyra, Sarah, and Ashley for already locking it in. Y'all are freaking life. I'm so proud of you, and we have tons of names on the board. I want you to fill up the chat right now. Let me know if you're committing to helping 3 people this month. What is your goal? What to know? I know tomorrow we had a Netflix movie night planned. We're changing that date to the 17th. So stay tuned there. Instead of our normal girls night, it will be Netflix party on the 17th, and tomorrow's Girl Talk is canceled. I'm also planning a bonfire get together on the 19th. Details are to be announced. If you want in on that, let me know, because obviously I want to make sure that enough people can get together and we have enough space. I'm also planning an all-day hike for July 5th. Since it is a holiday weekend, I know I won't be doing anything Sunday, so I'm ready to go explore, get outside, breathe in the fresh air. And then Summit Girls Weekend. If you missed the announcement, we are planning a Girls Weekend July 17th through 19th. I know I have an event page in my team page. If you want to be a part of that, come hang out with us. Let's do virtual summit together, and let's make it one hell of an experience. Upcoming events for Beachbody that I definitely want you to know about is the book releases that we have for Autumn and Alana. The FAQs are there if you want to look through them. I know they are available on Amazon, I'm pretty sure. I think some of you guys have the books. I don't know if, I can't remember the date that Autumn's book is ready to release. I think it might be already like pre-release, so you can go pre-order it. Again, Virtual Coach Summit is July 13th through 18th. In the event page, I will share details as they are announced, but the FAQ for that is 1240. You can totally go look that up and get all your questions answered. Salted Caramel Shakeology releases June 23rd. Let me know in the chat if you are going to be grabbing some. I know I cannot freaking wait for this. Caramel's like my total favorite, so I'm ready. Also, MBF Coach Access Window will begin July 7th. The FAQ for that is 2090, and I will pre-warn you, I will have a coach test group for this, so be on the lookout if you want to get entered into my personal coach test group for this program. Just like we did for 10 rounds and like we are doing for the Ultimate Reset, I want you to be a part of this, but you must apply because it will be exclusive, and you must purchase the early access for that. Today, we have a special guest speaker. Kristi is here. She's going to be talking all about recruiting and attracting builders. So I'm going to stop my screen share, and I am going to open the floor for her. Hey, Kristi, how are you?
Hi. Awesome. I'm excited. I'm excited to share with you guys tonight. I'll dive right in. My name is Kristi Kronser. I have been a coach for 9 years, which is pretty crazy. Basically, back in 2011, I was searching for a second job because I needed some way to pay my bills. I needed some way to pay my student loans off, and I couldn't afford to pay my student loans. And I looked at going back into serving and found coaching. And I was actually someone that got started for the business. I didn't get started for the fitness. I didn't get started for the programs. I was training for an Ironman 20 hours a week. I was working full-time in finance. And my coach said, hey, you get to help people in fitness. You love fitness. Fitness is like a part of your life, and you get paid. And I was like, really? And I don't have a boss? I don't have a boss. I don't have to like clock in. And she's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, how do I start? By week 2, I thought that maybe this was like some scam that I signed up for, and I almost quit because I was like, I don't know about this. Like, my coach disappeared. She's not answering me. Maybe this isn't real. But I took a step back and I was like, okay, well, what do you want? What do you want in life? And I was like, I actually, from listening to the National Coach Wake Up Call that week, somebody had paid off $400,000 in debt. And I thought, if she can pay off $400,000 in debt, I can leave my full-time job, because I've been in finance for 5 years and I have not made $400,000. There's no way I'd be paying off $400,000 in debt. So I made the commitment then. It's like, I wanted freedom. I wanted to be able to design my schedule. I wanted to be able to determine how much I made. And if I was willing to go to school for 4 years, and I was going back to get my master's, if I was willing to go to school for 4 years to get a college degree and spend 40, 50, 60 hours a week in school to go in debt $100,000, like, why wouldn't I commit 4 years to learning how to build a really successful business? So I went all in. Month one, I earned $70. Beachbody does not guarantee any level of success or income. I was so pumped. I was so grateful for that $70, because I have a degree in finance and I'm really good at compounding and math. And so I was like, if I can earn 70, I can earn 140. If I can earn 140, I can earn 280. If I can earn 280, I can earn 560, on and on and on. And so I was sitting there doing the calculations, and I was telling my boyfriend, now husband, I'm like, I'm going to retire us. And he's like, this girl is crazy. And he would roll his eyes. I would wake up at 4 a.m. I would go do my Ironman training, swim, bike, run, whatever I had to do that morning, go to work, get off work, do another workout, and then pour into my business. Of course, drink my Shakeology. Back then we had, it wasn't Energize. It was Energy and Endurance. That's how old I am. We didn't have Energize. Energy and Endurance and P90X Recover. So I would have all those, like, I was using all the supplements, and he would roll his eyes at me and I'd be like, dude, just wait. Like, I'm going all in. I'm going to prove to you. I'm going to prove the concept that this business works. Month 2, I earned $800. And that was the first time that I could go to the gas pump and put gas in my car and not have to check my bank account. And I'm like, this shit works. This works. Like, this is working. I'm helping people. I'm loving it. I'm sharing it on social media. When I started, I had 200 friends on social media. I did not have a network. I never posted to social media. In fact, I hadn't even been on it in 3 years. I got on it just to build this business. So I was like, I never saw a point to it, but now if I can have an impact and help other people, I'm all about that. If there's like, if I'm having to log in for a business, I'll do it. So I had to learn how to grow a network. I had to learn how to post to social media. I had to learn how to do a selfie. But from day one, the one thing I had that I see a lot of people don't have is I believed in my ability to figure it out from day one. Like, I knew that I could learn anything. If other people could learn how to be successful, I was hungry enough to show up every day to decide, like, figure out what that looked like for me. But in year 1, I went diamond in 60 days. By month 3, I earned $1,200. By month 4, it was $2,000. I said I was going to be a superstar diamond coach. Year 1, I'm like, I'm going superstar. If I can get to diamond in 60 days, so can everybody else. And I was kind of naive to realize that, oh, not everybody had the incredible mom that you had to tell you that you can do anything. So I'm here to tell you, you can do anything. It really is just showing up and being humble enough to suck in the beginning. And I knew that I sucked. I knew that I royally sucked at inviting. I knew that I didn't just want to build a retail income business. I wanted to go for 7 figures. So if I wanted to go for 7 figures, I couldn't just retail and sell challenge packs, and we didn't have challenge packs back then. I couldn't just sell Shakeology and build the business on retail. I had to grow a team. And I knew that from month 1, that if I wanted to grow a big income that allowed me to take a vacation for a month and get paid every week, that I needed a team to do this with me so we all could take vacations. And I dove in with inviting to coaching. Again, I knew I was really bad at it. In my first month, I invited 100 people a week, 400 people for the month. And I had 2 people say yes to me for coaching, 1 customer, but 2 people say yes to coaching. Really bad odds. Has anybody invited 400 people and only had 200 say yes? Or 400 people and only 2 say yes? Anyone? Probably not. I sucked really bad. You would have looked at me and said, she's going to be a future superstar diamond coach in the business. She's going to be a future million clubs earner. That's how sucky I was. But I knew that the more I did it, and I showed up to the National Coach Wake Up Calls because my coach disappeared, And I listened to all the past national coach wake-up calls and learned from other people who were successful and was hungry that I could figure it out. And I did. By month 2, I invited another 400 people. And if you do the math, guys, it's only like 15 people a day. It's not that many. It sounds crazy when I say it that way, but that's the compound effect. You can invite 2 people a day and that's 60 people a month. You can invite 15 people a day and that's 400 a month. I wanted to plant a lot of seeds. Month 2, I enrolled 16 new coaches to my team. But all of those invites, every single one of them was coaching. I did not get to Superstar Diamond in my first year, or my second, or my third, or my fourth. 4.5 years in, I advanced to Superstar Diamond Coach, but that was on my goal list every single day. Every single morning I wrote out Superstar Diamond Coach. I focused on that for 4.5 years before I got there, and I had a lot of setbacks. I'd get to 5-star and lose it. I'd get to 7-star and sit there for years, it felt like. But I kept showing up, kept learning, kept growing, kept joining team calls like this. So pat yourself on the back for being here. That's incredible. By my year mark, my part-time income with coaching had surpassed my full-time income in finance. And then I was terrified to leave my full-time job. So I stuck around for another 6 months. My income did not grow in that 6 months. And it stayed the same. I was earning $4,000 a month and earning that at my full-time job. And my husband finally said, like, you need to leave so you can put more time into this to grow this. Because 5 years of where you had worked didn't even get you close to what you did in year 1. And I kind of looked at it this way, like, this was my first year of Beachbody, my first year going all in, showing up, doing all the things they told me to do. Everything on that tracker, I did it all. Like, there was no skimping. And if I could do that for 1 year and accomplish that, like in 4 years, I went in debt for a college degree. In my first year out of college, I earned $28,000. Like, even if it took me 5 years to get to $28,000 a year in coaching, I was still ahead. So nothing was going to set me back because that's the mindset that I had. Let's see. So yeah, I left my full-time job 1.5 years in, and we retired my husband from his job at about year 3. We could have done it way earlier. We could have done it in year 2, but he had income coming in. And so we just stuck with it for a while until it was like, whoa, we're earning too much. Like, we've hit Millions Club. We've done all these things. Like, you need to come home and stop working for other people. So that's kind of my story in a nutshell. There's lots of ups and downs along the way, lots of, anything that you guys have come across in your business. I can probably say I've grown through it, most everything. But tonight I want to share with you how to have the mindset to attract builders and how to recruit builders to your team. It's one of my favorite topics, and it's different for everybody at what point you start attracting and finding builders, but these are the things that are must requirement in order for you to do that. So number 1, really, really basic. And if you're a brand new coach, I am glad that you're here tonight and that you're hearing this for the very first time. Commit to your vitals. You're like, okay, Kristi, we got it. But why I say commit to your vitals, I want you guys to grab that business tracker. If you haven't done your invites for the day, when you get off this call, you go do it. And I want you to commit to doing it every day for 90 days. Not just commit to your vitals, commit to doing it every day for 90 days. I have 5-star diamond coaches on my team who have told me, yeah, I was earning Success Club. I was showing up. I was earning income, but I just couldn't get to that next level. And on a training one day, you said to me, well, have you been consistent for 90 days with your vitals? And I looked and I knew I hadn't. I'm like, well, there's your next level. Figure that out. Get consistent for 90 days. And the reason why I want you to commit to 90 days is, who here has completed a program? You guys are awesome. Which programs have you completed? Put it in the chat. Which programs have you completed? Which is your favorite program? And how did you feel when you finished it? How did you feel when you finished it? Empowered. Freaking badass. Yes, badass. Life changer. First program I'll finish and I feel awesome. Unstoppable. Strong. Confident. Does anyone feel more confidence? I want you to have that for your business. I want you to have that same feeling for your business, and you have the power to create that. You have the power to generate that confidence, that badass feeling, that strong, that you can accomplish anything. And that is why my confidence grew so fast, even though I sucked so bad in the beginning, because I was more addicted to the action than to the outcome. Because I knew if I showed up and did the action consistently, the outcome would happen. I didn't know the time frame. It wasn't a matter of if it would happen, it was when. And I was willing to do the work for the benefits. Are you? Are you willing to do the work for the benefits? 95% of this business is not the tracker though. 5% of it is the tracker, but you got to get really damn great at that 5% because without it, you won't grow. So tonight, when you get off, if that tracker is not done, you do everything on it before you go to bed. If you are committed to getting results, if you want to change your life, if you want to lead by example and change the lives of others. So that's first and foremost. And I would love for anyone that's on tonight in 90 days, when you complete all 90 days of the tracker, reach out to me. You can find me, it's Kristi Kronser. You can find me on Instagram or Facebook. Reach out, say, Kristi, I finished it and this is how I feel. Do you know how few people will do that? But the ones that do, I know they're going far because they made that commitment and they showed up for it. Be a person of your word. Be a person of your word. You committed to this business, show up for 90 days. Number 2. So that was 5%. What's the other 95%? The other 95%, and this is how you're going to attract builders to your team, become the brightest, shiniest, sexiest version of yourself. And that doesn't mean perfection. That doesn't mean that you need to have all the answers. I didn't have any answers. I asked my very first coach that enrolled with me, I said, why did you enroll with me? I asked her later. I'm like, I have to know because I had earned $0 and you asked me how much I earned and I said $0. But I shared with you, she goes, I said, what was it? And she goes, well, you shared with me you had been drinking Shakeology for 2 weeks and lost 5 pounds, that you weren't having 2 p.m. lows in the afternoon and falling asleep at your desk. You had curbed your cravings and you had replaced a meal every day, so you were saving money on your grocery bill, and you said you were going to leave your full-time job, and you were committed and convicted about that. And I thought, well, even if I just earn some extra money while getting fit, like this is perfect. I want to do this. So simple. But a lot of you aren't sharing your story because you're like, I'll share it when I arrive. When I get there, when I hit that 7 figures, I'll share it. When I get to Millions Club, I'll share it. When I get to Superstar, I'll share it. No, I shared it from day one. I shared why I became a coach and what this was going to do for me and where I was going. And I brought everyone along on me with that, on that journey. Just like you would, like when your best friend calls you on the phone or texts you or walks in your door, what do you share with them the day you became a coach? I'm so excited about this. I'm nervous, but this is what I'm doing. I'm committing to this program. I'm going to get results. Like I'm going to go all in because I want to see like how fit I can get or how strong, or I can do a pull up once I finish the work or whatever it may be. Like, what are you excited about? It's not dumb. Those small little things that you're not sharing are exactly why I would have signed up with most of you. The $200 a month that you just earned by helping 4 people, I would have enrolled with you. I would be your next superstar diamond coach. But you can't attract those people if you're not out there sharing your story, how you're becoming the best, brightest, shiniest version of you. And so when I say that, there's a few things that I want you to think about. What are you avoiding right now? Are you avoiding posting about coaching? Are you avoiding sharing your transformation photo? Are you avoiding inviting to coaching? What are you avoiding? Whatever you're avoiding is your next level of growth. It's your next level of growth. Are you avoiding growing your team because you don't think you have the right answers on how to train them? You have a team of incredible people. You don't need the answers. I had no idea what I was doing when I enrolled my first coach. I told her, I'm getting to Emerald and Earning Success Club. You should do it too. And then I sent her a video that I had gotten on what Emerald was and what Success Club was. There was no training in the coach office. There were no YouTube videos. I legit had nothing. There were no scripts. but I knew what Emerald was, 2 coaches on your team. I needed to get that. And I needed to help 3 people get started with Shakeology on an auto ship. We didn't have challenge packs, so that I could earn Success Club. That's all I knew. And then I had the vital behaviors. That was it. And I did them. And I did them imperfectly because I did them first and learned later. And that's what I would share with my team. It was that basic, and people went with me. They went with me because I knew where I was going. Had no idea how I was getting there, didn't know how to invite or have conversations, didn't know how to post to social media, but I knew where I was going, and I was willing to do the work to figure it out. And that's why people joined me. And there are people watching you right now that would join you if they knew your story. So the next thing, what are you avoiding? Because that's your next level. Be the coach that you want on your team. I want people on my team that show up for 90 days, that show up every single day for years. So I am that coach. I am the person that I want to attract to my team. If you put this on the back burner when it gets hard, you're not going to attract a builder, because you will attract everyone that puts this on the back burner when it gets hard. So you become the brightest, sexiest, shiniest version of you. When it's hard, you show up. You show up even if you don't feel like it, because every decision you make either helps or hurts your confidence. You don't feel like doing a workout, but you do it anyways, you feel like a badass. You don't do it, now you feel guilty. Now your confidence account has decreased. You get to decide. Every day you show up, build your confidence to know that you are the leader that they're searching for. If you want to recruit lots of people, have lots of conversations, you'll get better at them real quick, have more. Change the meaning of your hardship. So in part of becoming the best, brightest, shiniest, sexiest version of you is changing the meaning of your hardships. When I see a hardship in this business, don't know how to grow my network, I go figure it out so I can teach other people. It becomes my superpower. So you change the meaning. Whatever you're going through, there's a coach on my team right now, and she was going through a major divorce. Her husband was a pastor. She was the pastor's wife. He cheated. They were had to leave the church. There's just lots of drama, right? She could have quit or given up on this. She continued to show up imperfectly. She continued to try to figure everything out. And she just posted her first $1,400 a week. This is her 3rd year, $1,400 in 1 week. Well, year 1, her first week, or her first week of coaching, she earned $360. Year 2, that same week, she earned $450. Or that was after her first year, 1 year in. 2 years in, $250. Her income went down. 2 years into this, $250 a week, her income went down. She said, Kristi, what am I doing wrong? I was like, you're not inviting to coaching. You're a retail business. You got to figure out how to invite to coaching. She's like, okay. She enrolled 16 coaches to her team last month. 3 years in, finally figured out how to grow her team. She didn't give up. She was hungry because her vision meant that much. You guys, by next year, I don't even know where she'll be, but I'm sure it's going to be really far, because she showed up through those struggles. And now when she's talking to women that are going through divorce, she can share. I know what it's like. I went through it. This business gave me hope. This business let me know that I was going to be okay, that I could lean into this team. I could lean into these women, and we were going to figure it out together. How powerful is that? But what do most people do when there's a struggle? This goes on the back burner. You're not going to attract a builder if this goes on the back burner when you're struggling. That struggle is happening for you and will become your next biggest superpower. And I know that's really hard. I don't know what you're each individually going through, but truly it can become your biggest superpower. Biggest, right? All the things that I was ashamed of, when I started sharing them publicly on social media, the shame went away. People connected with me. with who I am, and my business soared. People saw that they could do this too because I wasn't perfect. I had struggles. I had days I don't want to work out and still show up and do it anyways. That gave them hope that, oh, I don't feel like working out. It's okay. Like she feels that way too. She's not just a robot that wakes up and wants to work out every day, right? So all of those things are your superpower. You become the best, brightest, shiniest version of you. And when you are struggling, change the meaning. When I see a problem, I don't sit there and just put on repeat problem, problem, problem. What's the solution? The solution is there for you to grow. It's there for you to grow. And so I want to figure out how to get through the problem as quickly as possible. So I'm like throwing all the solutions at it so I can get the answer and bring it back to my team because I don't want to stay stuck there. And typically when we put this on the back burner because we have a problem, in another year, the problem is still going to be sitting there because you didn't attack it head on. And it's just there to help you grow your confidence, and you get to decide. Okay. I think I covered becoming the best, brightest, shiniest version of you. Oh, any roadblock, like you have a decision. When you hit a roadblock, you have a decision. Is this going to help my confidence and help me grow into the person I want to become? Or is this going to be the wall that thins the herd? Is this going to be the wall that you turn around, you give up, you slow down? And just a little, I don't have kids, but I have nieces. And every time those things happen, I think, would I allow them to give up? Would I want them to see me giving up right now? No. Like, I want to lead by example and be like, we figure this shit out. Like, no, giving up isn't an option. My goals, my dreams, my vision, what I said I'm going after is super important for my family. When I lost 5-star, so I was 6 weeks into 5-star qualifying. And if you guys are a brand new coach, when you advance to these ranks, you get quarterly bonuses from the company. And at 5-star, it's about $3,500. It varies, but about $3,500. I had just left my full-time job. I needed that 5-star bonus because I just cut my income in half by leaving my job. And I was on the 6th week of qualification, the very last day. You have to hold it for 6 weeks to get this bonus. Very last day. One of my coaches got in trouble in compliance and their business got like canceled for a month basically. And I got notified of this as I was getting on a plane. And when I got off the plane, I didn't even have time to contact compliance. Pay period had ended and I lost the bonus. And I dropped to 4-star. And I cried and cried. I wasn't good back then at problems. And so I gave that a whole 24 hours of me crying. And that was stealing time from me going and taking action and finding people that need this. And I didn't know that at the time, but I'm sharing this with you guys now because now if somebody says something that hurts my feelings, if some hater on social media sends me a message, I turn around and use what they said as a message for me to share on social media on how to think of it differently. How to not let those people steal from your joy, how to not let those people steal from your life. Because just like Deidre said at the beginning, she was like, let's get in, I don't like to waste time, right? We don't like if you had a meeting with someone and they showed up an hour late, wouldn't you be pissed off? And sorry if that word offends someone. Someone once told me that offends people. Wouldn't you be upset if someone showed up an hour late? But yet, the haters that are never going to say yes to us and we don't want in our inner circle anyways, we allow them to steal our time. So when someone is trying to hurt me, I'm like, I got big goals and dreams and I can't give this any attention or time because now it's stealing from the action I could be taking. Right? That is part of becoming the best, brightest, shiniest version of you. When I got to 5-star, I didn't have that mindset. But I continue to show up and figure it out and learn these things from personal development and implement them. See, what happens is, and now that I know this in psychology, when we get information in our brains, like information comes in and we decide in that moment how much time and attention we give to it. So when you tell yourself you're not good enough, or you're not a good enough leader, or you can't be a superstar diamond coach, or you can't become an elite coach, or whatever that is, you can't earn $1,000 for your family, who are you to think you can be successful? You have now decided that you are giving that time and attention. When those thoughts come in my head now, I'm conscious to them and I flip them right away, because I am not going to let that steal from my life, because that on repeat just spirals downwards. Like, nobody wants to feel that way. I want to generate joy and energy and happiness every single day. And we all have the power to do that by choosing our thoughts consciously and becoming more aware of them, so that we're not giving time and attention to the negativity or to the haters, but we're flipping it, right? And when you start to notice those things, you get to share them on social media. Hey guys, I just had a hater, but this is how I thought about it differently, because I don't want to let that person steal from my joy and energy. I don't want to allow them to steal from me going out there and impacting other people's lives. You share that, people are like, girl, I need her in my life, because I got negativity in my brain and it needs to go out, and I need someone like her to teach me how to think. That's not what they're thinking. They won't say it that way, but they will be attracted to you by you becoming the best, brightest, shiniest version of you. So number 3, 1 was commit 90 days to your vitals. 2, become the brightest version of you. 3, this is the nitty gritty. If you want to grow your team, you must be posting about coaching. I had someone reach out to me today and she was like, hey, she's a leader on my team, 5-star diamond. She's like, could you go love on some of my new coaches they're creating success in their business? I was like, yeah, definitely. I went to one of the girls' social media and I messaged her right back and I said, I can't message her because publicly, I don't know that she's a coach and I don't know that I can be one too. If I scroll your social media and I don't know that you're a coach and I don't know that I can be one too, and I don't know what the benefits are for me, you're not going to attract builders to your team. You're not going to attract people to this business that want to coach with you because they don't even know they can coach with you. So first off, grab a friend, a success partner, someone on this team, someone on the call, say, hey, can you go through my social media and will you tell me, can you tell if I can be a coach? Can you tell if I'm a coach? Can you tell if you can be one too? Because that's where to start. You want your public profiles to match your behind the scenes inviting. So that's number 1. How many times a week are you posting about coaching? How many times a week are you talking about coaching? I talk about it every single day. I'm either sharing a piece of my story, like in my stories yesterday, it was, we get to live at our second home for 3 months out of the year every year. And now that they're opening Airbnbs back up and stuff, because they weren't allowing second homeowners to come. Now we get to go. I'm so excited. So I shared that. And I was like, I'm just so thankful that this business allows me to travel and be somewhere else for 3 months out of the year, every year. And I'm planting a seed about coaching. If you look today, I've shared all of our coaching, not all, but 3 or 4 different stories of coaches on my team and success that they've had just from what I've seen posted on social media today. That's giving recognition to other people and it's showing what's possible, not just with my story, but with other people's stories, right? So post about coaching. Number 2, how many people a week are you inviting to coaching? How many people a week are you inviting to coaching? I invite a minimum of 100. If I'm behind on my goals, I'll invite more, but typically it's 100, which is 10, 15 a day. I don't know what it actually equals out to, but it's about that. And I try to post in my stories calls to action every single day so that part of those 15 invites a day are people reaching out to me so I don't have to personally invite. So the more calls to action, the more posts I'm doing about coaching, the more people I have reaching out to me, the less inviting I have to go do. So how many people are you inviting or getting to reach out to you every single day? Or every single week? I do a lot of bulk stuff, so I always look at my goals, my inviting goals for the week. Follow-ups. Follow-ups are key. Become a master at follow-ups. You don't need to be a great person at closing anyone. People always ask, how do you close people? I'm like, I just ask them, when do you want to get started? When do you want to start? Okay, let's schedule that. Let's get this planned out. become a master at follow-ups though. Most of the people that enroll with me truly are enrolling after 5 to 12 times of saying no. They really are. But most people never ask them more than twice. So you ask someone and plant the seed for me and then never talk to them again. And then somehow they come up on my social and I've invited them 3, 4, 5 times. You've made my life easier because I only had to send 3 invites instead of 5 because you sent 1 and then never followed up again. Right? Like follow-up is key. Grant Cardone, author of 10X Rule, Be Obsessed or Be Average. Love those books. He says 98% of his income comes from a follow-up. 98% of his income. So you have to have a system for following up. And then last, teach others to build this business. That's it. Like the vitals really are that simple, but if you're not doing them, you can't tell someone else to do them. Everything I tell my team to do, I do. I have no problem telling them that they need to do it or they need to do it more or they need to do it better because I've grown through that and I've been there, so I can say that. We can't boss other people around. That's not what we do. We lead the way, but I always think of it like I kind of feel bossy when I'm telling other people what to do. But I'm not asking them to do anything that I haven't already done. And that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. And going back to the invites, when I invite someone, there are 3 main steps. I compliment them, share with them why I would want them on my team. So a compliment. I share my story of what it's done for me. And then I share what's in it for them and ask if they're open. So like, are you open to learning more about how to use your fitness journey to earn extra income from home? Are you open? Because most people don't want to say that they're closed. Most people don't want to say that they're closed. And if they don't respond to me, really simple follow-up that I send is, I'm so sorry I've been so busy. I haven't had a chance to follow up with you. How are you? How are you? Be human. The more you do this, the more comfortable you'll get in just having genuine conversations with people. So today I do calls, and I've done calls in my business since month 1. I was terrified, didn't know what I was doing, but I scheduled a call and I Googled interview questions because I told people they were interviewing for my team, and I've done that since day 1. And when I get on the call with someone, I always make sure that first they've listened to a What is Coaching audio or a webinar or invitation to coaching from Carl, which is in our coach office, something like that. And when I'm on the phone, once they've listened to that and I get on the phone with them, the first question I ask them is what interests them in coaching? What interests them in coaching? I want to know, is it the fitness? Is it the community? Is it earning income? What is important to them? So that I can share stories. So on a call today, I had a potential coach call and I asked her what interests you in coaching. And she said, well, I'm a PE teacher and with everything, I just haven't had any work. But I really want to be able to have an impact in people's lives. And I'd love if I could turn this extra income into something full-time. And she goes, but this is what I love about calls, because they will tell you their hesitations that you don't get in a message. She says, but I'm not sure about this pyramid thing. And I said, yeah. What is the question that you have around pyramids? Like, what are your thoughts around it? And she goes, because I want clarification. When people say that, I actually don't know what they mean. I don't know what they mean because I earn 12 times more than the coach that brought me in. And when I worked for my boss, he was never going to pay me more than him. So like, I don't know what they mean when they say pyramid. And so I genuinely was asking, like, I want to clarify what she means by that. And she's like, well, I just don't know if I want to sell. Like, I don't like selling things. And she goes, and I'm not good about asking people for money. And so I shared with her why I get on the phone is because I can add value to people's lives. If she walks away and never signs up, at least she knows that Beachbody coach, Kristi Kronser, was so kind to me and helped me change my life. So I shared with her, I said, okay, when it comes down to money mindset and not thinking that you should be able to earn money from other people, I recommend 2 books, Get Rich, Lucky Bitch, or You Are a Badass at Making Money. And I definitely recommend reading both of those books because you deserve to be earning income. Number two, we don't have to collect money. It goes through the Beachbody website and then they pay us. So we don't have to worry about collecting money. And I said, and number three, like, I'm not out there like posting sales ads about these products. Just like you reached out to me on Facebook from me sharing my story, I'm just sharing my story and my journey. Why are you interested in coaching? And she shared with me why she was interested in it, which I share with you guys. And I said, well, that's the story that you share, because other people out there searching for this opportunity, this gift that you've just been given. And I said, and the reason I got into this was I wanted to help other people in fitness. I went through a suicidal depression, and fitness and nutrition saved me. And so I want other people to know how amazing they can feel. And if I don't sell to them, I'm doing them a disservice, because they're going to go out there and buy some quick fix that's going to set them back further than where they are right now. And had they invested with me, they'd be feeling a whole hell of a lot better. And she's like, yeah. When can I sign up? And that's typically not how my calls go. Usually the last question I ask them is on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 meaning you have no interest and 10 meaning you're ready to get started right now. Where are you on that scale? If they say an 8, I'll say, why are you an 8 as opposed to a 10? So I can continue to share stories or resources. All I'm doing is sharing stories or resources. They have questions about compensation, I don't answer. I'm like, I'll send you a video. If they say, why can't I explain? I'm like, because if I explained it to you, you would be so overwhelmed and confused. You would think I can't do what she just did, and you wouldn't think you could build this business. So if I send you the video, you'll understand it. They're much more well put together, well spoken. And then now you have a tool so you can always use that tool going forward. They're always like, touche. But I have confidence and boldness because I have done this over and over and over. And if it takes 10,000 times to be great at something, I want to get great faster, which is why I always invited more people. And that is all I have for you guys tonight.
Does anybody else feel the fire? Oh my gosh, this call was life. Thank you so much for being here. Like literally is everything that we needed and so much more. Your time is so much appreciated. Does anybody have questions before we hop off of here? If so, go ahead and unmute yourself, drop it in the chat. Don't be shy. She has given us so much today, and I'm totally grateful. I literally have 2 pages of notes. Kyra, I saw your hand. Go ahead.
Well, my internet was lagging, so I wasn't sure if it was working. I love the interview, like the way that you're talking about interviewing coaches, of being like, all right, let's get on a call, because my power is my voice 100%. I was born a salesperson and I have zero shame in that. I had to pay for my nails. I have to pay for my necklace. Why should I not have to pay for my own business? So I love the interview section of that. I have 2 questions. One, like, how do you, not necessarily that I'm like, hi, I'm doing interviews, obviously, but like, how do you open invitation for that? Like, how do you invite to that, I guess is how I would say that for number 1. And then number 2, I would love whatever resource you have for your compensation plan, because 90% of the time I go Steven-esque compensation, which, not saying that's not good, because Lord, he's easy on the eyes and he explains it so well. But I do know he goes in very, very good detail. But from an outsider standpoint, sometimes I'm like, I don't need you to tell them about weak leg volume because that's going to scare them away. So to sum it up, how are you inviting to, okay, I'm enrolling or I'm asking for new coaches basically. And then what video specifically are you doing for your compensation for when they ask for that? Because that's the biggest thing that I get is I don't want to be a part of a pyramid scheme. I'm like, it's not. So anyway, that's my question.
Yes. So what was the first question? Sorry.
How do you specifically invite to coaching? Or is this more of like during your invite process when you're communicating, talking, having conversations with them, you offer getting on a call, or do you invite to kind of like an open enrollment for coaching?
Right. So when I'm inviting, if you see any of my, have I done it recently? Any of my calls to action, a lot of them are like, I have 5 mentor spots open. I have 10. I'll be opening interviews this week. So it's very much like you're getting on the phone, like they think it's it's an interview to join my team, because honestly, I am picky. And if I get on the phone with someone and their energy sucks, I'm just like, okay, I'll send you more information, and like get off the phone. I'm not following up. Like I'm not scheduling anything. Don't recommend that. Like in the beginning, follow up, even if they're not necessarily, because you're getting skills, you're building skills. I have those skills now, so I don't. But it's really just like, I'm going to send you a video. Once you get a chance to watch it, then we can schedule an interview. It's like real simple.
And then what compensation resource are you using specifically to be like, hi, so here's the thing for interview for compensation? Because I typically do Steve Ennis, and it's usually longer and a lot more detailed than I would actually like to send in the very beginning, because they don't know what an outside leg is, kind of thing.
Yeah. Let me look, because I just have like a copy paste that I keep sending once once they want more info. So hold on, let me check. So give me just a second. So one thing is I don't send the compensation unless they ask.
Right.
Typically,
I have a lot of people who ask, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, no, that's good, because that was me. Actually, I wanted the compensation video when I started. Like that was something I asked for, which is why I send, I have it ready to send, because I tend to get the same type of people that, let me just grab it. Hold on. Of course, when you're trying to find something.
Which you could always send it to Deidre, and then she can just post it. That's totally fine too.
Yeah.
It was really more of just like,
it was one of the old ones from the coach office. I don't know if it's still in there, but I'm sure you can it must be, because it's still linking. So I'm sure you could take it and then just put your coach ID in it. You know how like they all link with our coach ID, but it was one that Michael Neiman made. And it's just a really short one. It's only 6 minutes long. And typically they don't ask for more information after that. But if they did, I would probably grab one of the newer ones from the coach office. Because if you've watched the compensation, the new ones in the coach office, they kind of build upon each other. So you can, pick and choose from there too. But I'll send you the one that I sent for sure. And so something I do when I'm on the calls though, is if they have more questions and like hesitations, just because someone has questions and hesitations doesn't mean they're not ready to sign up right now, by the way. So I always ask that question scale of 1 to 10. And if they're 10, I schedule the enrollment call. I walk all my coaches through enrollment. And the reason why I do that is because I hate sending the link and then waiting for them to sign up. And so that way I'm on the phone with them. We walk through it, we get it done. I can then send them like the new coach getting started checklist that I have, and which I can send to you guys as well if you guys would like a copy of it. And then, get on their getting started right call after that. So it's like super simple. And that way, if they don't answer the call, I now know to continue following up, but I also know that this is probably going to be someone that enrolls in like 6 months, not this month, instead of like counting on that person to enroll.
I just had a quick question too. So you said about how when you go to your page, like, do I know that you're a coach, and do I know that I can do this with you? And I'm sorry, my kid's crying in the background. But for how do you know if you can do it with you? Do you have like call to action specifically on your post, or do you make it more of like your pictures showing like you're working and you're looking, like, what I'm saying, like the image versus the words, I guess?
Yeah. So yeah, some of mine are very direct, like with a call to action, like reach out, DM me for more info. Just really simple, just give people calls to action. The more you give calls to action in every post, like it can just be something like, swipe, check my stories for this today. And then in your stories, you have a call to action that's inviting them to join you. So always directing them to take action. Like people want to take action, and in a weird way, they like want to be told what to do next. And so the more we can do that in our posts, and the more we can do that in our stories, the more we're directing them. Like I just had a girl She's on my Instagram and my Facebook, and I'm like, I don't know how we're on both, but she's been on Facebook since like 2013, but she follows me on Instagram, and I just have a lot of calls to action. And she reached out and she's like, are you doing interviews right now? That's how often I post about interviews. Like, can I interview? And so people know after following me that like I talk about interviewing, you know, so whatever that call to action is for you, message me for info, drop your email, check my stories, just always give them an action. Or if you guys, I don't know if you do coach info sessions, you know, if you're invited into that, that could be a call to action. I like to, in my stories, if you watch my stories, I usually will say like, are you open to learning more? I forget what I put today. Are you open to learning more about getting results and earning income from home? Are you open to learning more? Like DM me is what it said, I think. I used the little DM me sticker thing.
I love it. Okay, any other questions before we hop off of here? Do you have any suggestions on how to grow your Instagram following?
Oh gosh, that's a big one. So I started my Instagram like when Instagram was new. So I have lots of followers that have been there for like 7 years and they don't even follow me anymore. So it looks like I have a lot of followers. But what I did in the beginning was I compete. So Ironman triathlete, I do bikini competitions, figure competitions. Just did my first CrossFit competition this year before we all went shelter in place, and did a figure competition in February as well. And so I will go to local, like competition teams, basically. So I belong to a competition team, and I will follow and love on those girls and use the hashtag, the team hashtag, and just be like the biggest team supporter every day. And that is how I found a lot of my top coaches, actually, is from Instagram, from doing that and really building more. I would almost say it's areas that other Beachbody coaches don't think about. Like most of these people have never been invited to coaching by anyone because no one's found them on social media, because the only hashtags they're using is the hashtag for the specific team. I'll also go to like local gyms in the area, like locations, like no one knows the gyms in my small town in California except me. No other Beachbody coaches know it. And so I can connect with all the people that are using that location tag. So getting really specific, and obviously it's the same of going and following them, liking, commenting. The thing that I find is the more, like if you really find someone you really want on your team, connect with that person and love on them and get to know them. I'm all about inviting first. Like I invite right off the bat, and then I build a relationship after. And the reason why I say this is because if I get that invite out of the way and then I keep loving on them, I stand out, because most people invite and never show any love ever again. Like how many invites have you gotten from someone? I used to get them from like Rodan and Fields all the time. They tell me how much they love my profile, but yet they never comment or like ever again after they invite me. And I say, no, thank you. So when I invite and someone says no, thank you, or reads it and doesn't respond, I continue to build that relationship with them. Especially if they say no, thank you. Because I'm like, those no's, you're kind. You're my kind of person. You can just say no, thank you without being a jerk. So I want you on my team because I want kind people on my team. And that's really where, like, one of the girls on my team just went superstar diamond coach. She said no for 6 months before saying yes. So those no's right now, like they're not right now, and they can be a future rock star on your team. But it's just, it's continuing to show up, be so consistent that they can't ignore you.
Boom.
Yeah,
Just
love
like
that, Tiffany.
Yes. That is gold. All right, ladies, I appreciate your time so much. Everyone take your last second pictures. Everyone smile, share on your social media. Kristi, I just appreciate you. You have the biggest heart, and I'm so grateful for you tonight. So thank you for being here with us.
Thank you. I'm excited for my team call tomorrow.
I'm excited too. All right, bye, ladies.